This is ClickTeeside.com.
Hello and welcome to the Josh Ryan Radio Show, the radio show with a different guest each week. My name is Josh Ryan and today I'm going to be joined by Jay. We're going to be speaking about retro games, the classic games, what our favourites are, how our games have changed, but that'll be coming up in the second hour and I'll be quizzing him too, so don't go anywhere.
ClickTeeside.com.
So don't go anywhere because we've got plenty coming up. We've got a quiz coming up with Jay when he'll be coming up in the second hour where we'll be speaking about retro games, the classics, our favourites, how games have changed since. So don't go anywhere for that. But for the first hour we're going to be speaking about VR, what my opinions on it are, the general oversight of it, the future of it. Because VR is a very special thing. I think everyone's looking forward to what it can be. Bit expensive at the moment. I mean, you can get the Samsung Gear, which I've noted down for £500 here. Not right. I meant to put like 80 or something. I don't know why I put 500, but it's definitely not £500. But the Samsung Gear VR is the one I've got. It's the mobile version that you can put your Samsung phone into. I think it's like from the highest end, the S7 Edge, to like the S5 or maybe the S6. Yeah, it might just be the S6. I don't know, but it's good. I have tried it a few times. I still got it, and there's not like unlimited capability, but it's very. It works for starter VR, I guess. I mean, I have played the Vive as well, which I'll get into later, but like it's very, very different. There's no controls with the Gear VR either, which makes it a bit different to the Google Daydream, which is the new VR headset Google have brought out, which goes for around £70, so it's a bit cheaper than the Gear VR. Well, the Gear VR was £80 when I bought it, and that was around a year ago now, I'd say, so it's probably cheaper by now, but non-retail shops, it's probably not, to be honest. But the Daydream is practically the same thing, but with more, I think, any phone. It might be any phone or just the Google phones. I imagine it's just the Google phones, but to open reach, it might be in every phone. I didn't check that. I really should have. But yeah, the Google Daydream, it looks good because you actually get a control with it. You get like a remote that you can use as your hand, just like the HTC Vive. So I think that's a really good idea. If you like really cheap VR that comes with a controller as well for cheaper than the Samsung Gear. I think that's a really good idea, and I'm sad that it's only just came out because I would have got that instead. But and then you've got the big ones like the PlayStation VR, the Rift, and the HTC Vive. The PlayStation VR I haven't used yet, but I've heard a lot of problems with it. I've heard that it's like the tracking on it is really bad because of it. Just the camera follows the light. Like it uses the PlayStation camera. I forgot what it's called. Is it like the toy or something? The iToy? Unless that was the PS2. I don't know. Just the camera for the PlayStation. That they use that to track the colours of the headset and the controller. So you can imagine it goes off quite a lot, and it loses your tracking all the time. I mean, it only happens to some people. It depends on what room you're in and what the lighting in the room and all that. But it's mostly I've heard bad things, but. Apart from the bad things, I've heard that the games on it are really good. Like Resident Evil 7 is apparently amazing on it. I really wanted to try that because I'm playing Resident Evil 7 at the moment. But I never got around to playing the PlayStation VR, so I wouldn't. Or HTC VR. I think it's on the HTC Vive as well. So, but I never got around to playing that. So, and then there's other games on PlayStation VR like exclusives like Batman Arkham, and there was another one I forgot the name of. Oh, it's in the back of my head. What was that game called? That horror game that everyone loved. What was it? Oh no, my mind's went blank. I'll think of that and try and get back to you. But yeah, and then the HTC Vive. Oh, sorry, the Rift. Let's go for the Rift first. We'll go for the superior one last. The Rift has all of the good ones. Like it has a lot of good ones on, but they've kind of. I don't know, they stole the concept from the HTC Vive when they realised it was going to do better. I mean, the controllers are apparently better. They feel a lot better in your hands apparently, but. I think the HTC Vive's definitely winning still. The Rift's got games such as the Super Hot game, which is an exclusive on the Rift for a bit, but it's coming to the HTC Vive. So I think Rift are trying to, or Oculus, are trying to buy a lot of HTC exclusive games and then letting the rights stay on with them for a bit and then letting it go later on. I don't know if that's going to work as well as they hope, but they can only hope, really, can't they? And then the HTC Vive obviously has Job Simulator, The Lab, Pool Nation VR, Don't Let the Bomb Explode. I forgot what that one was called. I don't know. Stay tuned anyway, because we've got plenty more coming up. Don't go anywhere. So the name of the game that I was looking for, that is a PS4 exclusive on the PlayStation VR, is named Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. Until Dawn was an exceptional game. Everyone loved it. Like, I've not seen a person that hated it. I tried to watch a playthrough of it, I just didn't want to, because I really want the experience of playing it. I haven't played it yet. I think I played the start, but never really got around to playing the rest of it, because I got a PS4 for Christmas and I really want to play it, but haven't had the time. So VR, is it the future of gaming? I really don't know. It's a lot of people could say that VR is just a temporary thing, that it's just around for now, and that people are getting on the hype while it's there, and then it's going to die down. But I think a lot of people are going to get on the hype when it gets a bit cheaper, because the HTC Vive being £800/900 it's like unbelievably expensive for what it is. I mean, it's very, very good. I've used the HTC Vive. I used it at like a demo thing at PC World shop, and for free as well, which was really nice, because Game offer it for like a $5. I think on PlayStation VR they offer to have a go of it for a $5 for like 15 minutes, whereas the one where I was at, you get to go on it for free for however long you want, as long as no one else is there. So, you know, but yeah, the HTC Vive is incredible. It is really, really good. Like, a lot of people say it feels immersive and that it feels like you're actually in that universe, but no, you won't believe it until you're actually in it, because it genuinely is. It genuinely is what people say it is, which is, it's really weird. Like, I can't explain it. You can't explain what the HTC Vive does to your brain. It's so weird. But it's very, very good. I played Job Simulator and Golf VR. Wish I didn't play Golf VR. It was Cloudlands VR, I think it was called. Didn't really like that. Was a bit bored. Wish I played a more actiony game. I mean, I liked it. Cloudlands is really good, but I think it'd be better with friends, because it is a multiplayer game as well. VR in multiplayer just sounds weird to me. Like, being able to see what your friends are doing in real time, I don't know, it's just, yeah, I don't know, it blows my mind. Films, you know, a lot of, I think every VR headset has a cinema in it now. You can always go to the cinema and watch your favourite films on any VR headset now, including, like, you can even watch like Netflix and stuff, which I just think is incredible. Like, you can just lay in bed with the Gear VR and just watch Netflix. It is like the best. TV, is it going to be the future of TV? Because apparently in the future sports events are going to be live, but you're going to be able to pay a certain amount. I think it was, I imagine you'd have to pay a certain amount to sit in the front row with like 360 VR. It sounds really good. Like, you wouldn't have to ever go to an event. I mean, you would, but unless you're really sad. But I think it'd be a good idea for people that don't have loads of money. I mean, if you've bought the Rift, then you have loads of money anyway. But it could work for like the Gear VR or something. You know, you never know. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's gonna run its time, and it's not gonna be the future. It's just a temporary thing. But I disagree. I think it is. I think VR is the future. It's not the future of gaming, but it's a new type of gaming that's gonna catch on. Like, I mean, it's already caught on, but because the PlayStation VR sold like millions of copies already. But I think in the future, when it gets cheaper and when it gets a bit better, there's loads more games for it, and when everyone can use it, I think then is when it'll really kick off. Just because of what it is. It's a really good platform to play games on, and I think everyone can enjoy VR. So, coming up, I'm going to be talking about films I've seen for the last 2 months and giving my reviews, so don't go anywhere.
Side.com.
So I got one of them unlimited cinema cards you can get, and all I've done for the past 2 months is go to the cinema. So, like, I've never been to the cinema so much. Like, normally I'd never go because it's so expensive, but now, because I've got this cinema card, I'm not trying to promote it, I'm just saying, because I've got this cinema card, I can go to the cinema whenever I want, and it's unbelievable. Like, I've never had so much fun going to the cinema, and I love going there now. So I'm going to be speaking about films that I've seen over the last 2 months with this cinema card, give my overall thoughts of it. This can be the off-topic segment, so stay tuned. So, Coldplay have been doing good recently, haven't they? They played at the Grammys, they played at the not the Grammys. They played at the Brits. They played at the iHeartRadio the other night. They're playing all sorts now, and they've got a new single with the Chainsmokers as well. They're just they're going all out now. So coming up, I'm going to be talking about a bunch of films that I've seen in the last month. This is like off-topic segment, but it's going to be a bit longer this month. This week. I've had no sleep. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with just saying that all these games, oh my God, all these movies are recommended. I'm gonna give you a general plot, if I can remember it, and I'm gonna just give a general opinion and even a rating. So Manchester by the Sea. This was a game that This was a movie that I seen on January the 19th, so almost 2 months ago now. Well, month and a half ago now. And it won Best Actor at the Oscars, which is really nice. I think Casey deserves it. He was a very good actor in the film, and so was his supporting role. I went to see it. It's a great film. The ending is very unsatisfying. It's not. I don't want to spoil anything, but it just ends so abruptly, and it's kind of sad. Not in a good way either. It's kind of sad and like what just happened? Like, give me more. But the start of it. I don't normally watch films like that, dramas, like very serious dramas, because basically it's a film. I forgot to explain the plot. It's a film about a Lee Chandler, who is a loner, I guess, who lives by himself in Boston, and he gets a call asking him to go to his hometown because his brother's heart has gave out. He's had a heart attack or something, and he has to be a guardian to his 16-year-old nephew. So now he has to look after this nephew while giving him care and helping him just after the loss of his brother. So you can imagine how that goes. It goes very badly. With the nephew, I forgot his name. The nephew's always wanting to go to his girlfriend's house or whatever, and then he has to drive 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back, and he doesn't really want him there, so he's very stressed about it. And I think it started off really good, and then it lost me a bit. I kind of almost fell asleep, and then it picked up later on and got really interesting. And the directing as well is incredible. So much good directing in there. Some fantastic shots. I think the woman that was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, I don't think she should have been nominated. She was only in like a few scenes, and it wasn't very long, the scene she was nominated for. So I don't think that was well deserved, but she didn't win that anyway. So, but I don't know. It was a good film. Just had an abrupt ending, so I'm gonna give that a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm giving ratings. I've never done this before. The Lego Batman movie. I went to see that on February 4th, so just over a month ago. And it's such a hilarious film. Yeah, I went to see it. I think I went to see a special screening of it as well. So like it was a full cinema. Like I've never seen a cinema I've never seen a cinema fuller. Fuller, is that a word? No, that's not a word. I've never seen a cinema more packed since Star Wars, which is incredible. Because I went to the midnight premiere of Star Wars, the Rogue One, and it was like full. They had to put on like 3 screens for it, and then it broke at the start. It was just about to start, and an error came up on the screen, like on Windows. It was really strange. The ending is very unexpected. I'm not going to spoil that at all. Just wait. I'm almost going to say it's the best film in the Batman franchise. Like, it's so apart from Dark Knight, and I actually really like Dark Knight Rises as well, and Batman. I liked all of them, except Batman vs Superman. I got like half an hour into that and just couldn't. But it's probably because I heard so many bad things about it. But yeah, it's an incredible movie. I wasn't really that interested in the Lego Movie until I watched. Like, I went to the cinema to see it with my little sister, and I didn't really like it. None of us really did. But then I watched it again a few months later, and I loved it. So I didn't really understand my own decisions there. But so I wasn't really that bothered about the Lego Batman movie when they announced it. But I went to see it, and I thought it was incredible. Honestly, one of the best films I've seen. Best animated films I've seen. It's so good. La La Land, obviously, it was nominated. No, it got 8 awards. Which is, I don't even know if that's a good thing. I've got 7 written down there. It won, Best Song, best music, best actress, best picture. No, I didn't win best picture. Sorry. Oh, best picture controversy is what I've wrote there. Cinematography, director, and production design. Whew. Honestly, I think La La Land was. I went to see it because of the hype. Like, I wanted to go see it earlier because of the hype, but I left it for a bit and went to see it. Emma Stone, incredible acting in it, and same as Ryan Gosling, both really good in it. I'm not a musical type, but I loved it anyway. However, I think it's overhyped. I don't think it deserved all the awards it did. I don't think it was the best film that was out this year or anything, but it doesn't disappoint. So I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10. And Split, I went to see Split with a friend after a show a month ago today, actually. I went to see all these films in like space of 3 days. I went to see it. It was incredibly boring at first. Me and my friend Connor, who was on the show a few weeks ago, first show, didn't really understand what was going on at first, but then it all like clicks together and you understand it all. It's different to what I thought it'd be. It has a very different plot to what I thought it'd have. And then it stops getting boring when a lot more stuff's happening, a lot more stuff's linking up, and you're learning more about the characters and such, because it's a film about multiple personalities. So this one guy captures these girls, and it's about I think he's got like 24 personalities. You only see like a few of them, well, not a few, like 8 of them, I believe, and then the same and some more for like a sequel or something. I didn't realise it was a sequel to something. I forgot what film it was a sequel to, but the end gives a little like hint towards the previous film that I didn't really know about, so that's cool. The acting is incredible. The different personalities by the actor, the main actor, was just outstanding. Like, he was so good. I was constantly impressed by the acting, like his change of personality so quickly, and then how he could go from making people laugh to going really serious and scaring people in the cinema was just fantastic. I really enjoyed it. When everything makes sense, it's a lot better than your initial thoughts. Because when I got in there, me and my friend were genuinely just like so bored. This probably just does, to be fair. You can't expect a film to pick up straight away, but. The ending, it was a bit too easy. Not going to spoil it, but it was disappointing, but it was great nonetheless. And I'm going to give this film a 7.5 out of 10 overall, just because of what it is. Coming up, I'm going to be talking about Hacksaw Ridge, 50 Shades Darker, and John Wick. Don't go anywhere. I'm never going to be able to get that song out my head now. That's a great thing. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about some more films for this last part. So Hacksaw Ridge, one of the best film I have ever seen. So good. I actually tweeted on the day, like after I seen it, and I put Hacksaw Ridge. Wow. So, that's a great tweet. And then probably one of, if not the best film I've ever seen. It is so, like, I didn't think I'd like a drama, like a history drama film. It's based on a true story about a guy called Desmond Doss, who saved 75 men during a war in Japan. I don't want to pronounce that, I'll end up offending someone. I believe it's Japan anyway. And yeah, he saved 75 men without firing a single bullet. It was the bloodiest battle of World War II, and he didn't fire a single shot, which I think is incredible. And it was such a good side. I went into it not really expecting that much. I don't know why. I didn't think Andrew Garfield would play that good of a role, because I've seen him in like Spider-Man and what else? Just Spider-Man, I think I've seen him in, so that obviously gives me a weird opinion of him going into a war film about drama where there's hardly any comedy. Vince Vaughn was a weird casting. Like, I've only seen him in comedy films as well, and it's just so weird seeing him in like a proper serious film. I mean, there is comedy in it. There's like a tiny bit of comedy every now and again where the whole cinema would laugh, because it is some parts are quite funny, because he plays the funny chief. No, not chief. Wrong word. I can't think of the word. I don't know army ranks, but yeah, he plays an exceptional character, and then Andrew Garfield just does such a good job. I think he should have won Best Actor, honestly, because I've never seen him in a role like I did, and it was genuinely so good. you know, he used the real story to set an amazing plot about an incredible man who believed in no killing because he was Christian, I believe, and his brother went off into the war while his dad didn't want him to. He was like, no, I don't. Yeah, he was exactly like that. He was like, no, no. He was like, he didn't want him to go there because he'd be killing people and just risking his own life. But Desmond Doss or Andrew Garfield has a really good line in the movie where he says, "While you be taking lives, I'll be saving them." I believe that's during a court scene where because they kick him out of the army. I'm not going to spoil too much, but they kick him out, and then he gets into a court case about it, and he defends himself and stuff. And he uses that line. Honestly, I cried at the end because it gives like the real story, like background at the end, what happened to everyone and such, and it gets emotional. But I'm going to give that one a 9.5 out of 10. Maybe I'm overdoing it. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch it a second time to give it a good rating, second rating. But yeah, if not the best film I've ever seen. Now, 50 Shades of Darker, I felt so awkward going into this. I watched 50 Shades of Grey not when it first came out. I watched it like 4 months afterwards or something, see what the hype was about, and didn't really like it. Not even ashamed I went to see 50 Shades of Darker. That's a joke, I am a bit. It's better than the first, honestly. The horror elements are a nice change of the story. Hang on, let me just get the name of the cast up. You know, the Christian Grey has to protect Anna because this girl came back into her life and back into his life that he once had. And it's a mess of a story, to be honest. I didn't really enjoy it that much. It's not as awkward to watch though. There's less weird stuff that goes on. You don't see her hairy legs as much, but yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Nothing much to say about that one, to be honest. It wasn't great. I'm going to quickly get through these ones. John Wick 2, I think it's better than the first one. I think it had a lot of action. No, sorry, I don't think it's better than the first one, is what I was meant to say there. I think the first one had a better plot, because I watched it in D-Box, and I don't feel like it added much. I feel like D-Box is a thing where you sit in a seat and it's like 4D, but it's not actually 4D. Your seat just moves a bit. It does add much, but it's not like great. The film adds to the first one and does what it does best: violence. I mean, you knew John Wick was going to win everything. Like, he was going to win every battle. The ending was pretty cool. It was very, very intense throughout the whole thing. And basically the plot is he's forced back out of retirement to get his car back for a start again, and then he travels to Rome, squares off against some of the world's deadliest killers is the plot. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. As much as I say the first one had a better plot, I think this one was better in the action category, and it kept me focused for a lot longer than the other one did. Patriots Day, oh my god, what a movie. It's about on the level of Hacksaw Ridge. I'd say it's just under the levels of Hacksaw Ridge. So good. It's an incredible story. Again, didn't think someone like Mark Wahlberg would have been good in this role, but he played it so well. I think it was really emotional as well. It follows the real story very well. Patriots Day was about the bombings in Boston when the marathons were happening. So the plot is basically finding the people that done it. And it gets really tense at some points, and they use the real locations, and it really brings out the heroes from the story, like the actual people that done it, because it shows, like Hacksaw Ridge did, it shows you the actual people at the end, which is really cool. I genuinely thought it was such a good film. I was focused on the screen for so long. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to up it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because it was a very, very good film. Next up is Logan. This again was an incredible film. God, where do I even start with Logan? Where do I start? I've never really watched any of the X-Men films, really. I said Harry Potter. I've been on a Harry Potter movie marathon lately. I've never really watched much of X-Men films, but I went into this one not really, like, I was expecting, like, I'd seen the trailers. Obviously, I was expecting it to be more focused on the girl. It wasn't. It was a drama about Logan himself. Like the film title really depicts what the film is about. I know it sounds obvious, but like you see so much gore, and it wasn't like a normal superhero film. It was based a lot more on the drama. It's not even called a superhero film. It's called a drama film, science fiction film. You see, I thought it was going to be based on the kid, Laura, but it isn't. It's based on Logan and his journey. Obviously, this is the last film with him in. The bringing out legions and such, which I think might have like Professor X in and stuff. But there's so much action in it as well. It's a drama film, but it's a very, very good actiony drama film. It's like there's heads being ripped off, there's people being blown up, there's claws going through bodies. It's so good. But then on the other side of that, it's raw and it's emotional, and the focus on Logan himself is what makes the actual film what it is. Because just of how good like they depict it. Is that the right word? Depict it. It's just incredible. I highly recommend Logan, just because of what it is. Like if you're a fan of superhero films but not really a fan of drama films, then you probably won't like it. But I went into it expecting a superhero film and absolutely adored it. So I'd highly recommend it, as I've said already. Did I say I recommended it? Because I do recommend it. Yeah, they don't say it's like a Wolverine title at all. There's no X-Men mentioned. There's one, which I won't spoil, but the main focus is Logan and his slow descent throughout the film, looking after Laura and the Professor X, because he's grown old as well. They're both grown old, and Logan has lost his healing powers, so he can't heal anymore. But he works through it and gets Laura to the place that tries to get Laura to the place that she needs to go to. I could genuinely see it being Oscar nominated. It's that good. Like I thought it was so good. I think it was like I cried twice. I'm not going to spoil why. It's not for the reasons you think. It's nothing like Spider-Man or Deadpool. If you're expecting something like that, I don't think there was like any comedy in it. I think there was like a few scenes. There's also the Deadpool teaser trailer that comes at the start of it, which I missed because I came in a bit late. It was a special screen that I came into and there was no adverts, so I expected it to come on a bit later, but it came on exactly on the dot. And the timing for the show was 22:23, which is X23, which is Laura, I believe, or it's someone else. X23, no, I think it's Laura, because she's like the main focus now. I'm presuming she's going to get her own franchise as well. But yeah, start of each month. This one was a bit longer because of I've missed 2 months of it, but start of next month there will be not start of each month, sorry, the first show of each month will have a section like that where I just review films from the past month that I'd seen in that month. So next month it'll be films I've seen in March, where I'm going to go see like Beauty and the Beast just because I'm autumn, and Fist Fight is a film that I'm going to see. It's a comedy film. Oh God, pardon me. But yeah, that's going to be the start of each month, so make sure you tune in at every show for more of that. But in the second hour, we're going to be speaking with a guest, hopefully, and we're going to be quizzing him and talking about retro games, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome. This is ClickTeeside.com.
Hello, I'm Josh Ryan, and this is the Josh Ryan Radio Show. That's a very good name, that, isn't it? I really like that name. In this show, we were going to have a guest on, but he said he can't make it. So we're going to be speaking about retro games, the classics, what my favourite retro games are. As in retro games, as in old games, and what the future, what now is like, what the present is like compared to older games. So don't go anywhere.
ClickTeeside.com.
What a song! Oh my God. That is a classic song. I think I learned that on Guitar Hero. No, Borderlands. Maybe I think my friend introduced it because he heard it on Borderlands. I don't actually know if that's true. No, it was off another game. I can't remember what though. Oh no, that's annoying me now. In this hour, we're going to be speaking about the retro games. I keep calling them retro games. What I mean by that is PS1, PS2, Xbox. Arcade games, flash games. I don't know, childhood games. So just a general oversight of it. My favourite childhood game, my favourite old game has to be San Andreas. It's probably my favourite game of all time, to be honest. Such a good game, such well crafted for what it was, and I think GTA has evolved because of San Andreas. I honestly think GTA wouldn't be as big if it wasn't for San Andreas, which is a weird thought. I don't think there'd be as many games either. I don't know if that's a good statement, but I just genuinely don't think that San Andreas could have been what could have made GTA what it is. My favourite current game compared to San Andreas has to be Subnautica, which I've spoken about a lot in this show. Subnautica is a game where you survive underwater. I don't need to explain what GTA San Andreas is, but they're two very, very, very different games, aren't they? Like, you look at San Andreas, and it's obviously an open world game, so it's Subnautica, but look how much it's evolved. Like I know it's a completely different game. You have to survive in Subnautica, but in San Andreas you don't. It's more of a story. But it's just so weird how games have evolved from what they were. Because even though San Andreas was such a good game, there's games that are matching it now. I'd say, because I'm spending just as much time on these games that I was when I was younger, which is it's incredible, really. What's another game that I could compare? Let's say Crash Bandicoot. And there's not endless runners anymore, really. Platformers. Ooh, what platformers are there? Super Meat Boy. I mean, it's very, very different, but Super Meat Boy probably took a lot of inspiration from Crash Bandicoot, because you have to dodge stuff, you have to jump over stuff, you have to run away from stuff. It's very, very similar, actually, but it's one was 3D, one was 2D, but still a platformer. And then you look at, there's a good one, Crash Bandicoot and Uncharted, because obviously they're made by the same people. Crash Bandicoot 1 maybe or 2, I can't remember which order they went in, but yeah, Crash Bandicoot and Uncharted made by the same developers, which is really, really cool, because in Uncharted you actually play Crash Bandicoot. Spoilers, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, you play it as soon as you get on it, but yeah, I think that was a really good feature to include an old game in a current game. I think that was a really, really cool idea by Naughty Dog. And then obviously they've got they're doing really well at the moment. And then they've got Last of Us 2 coming out, so they're going to make loads of sales off that. And just they're doing really, really well at the moment. And then we look at games like Tomb Raider. I played Tomb Raider 2 loads, where you lock that man in the freezer. That guy that follows you around in the open, not really an open house, where you can just run around. I think it was Tomb Raider 2, I believe it was, where you just run around. There's no games like that, really. I can't really think of the current Tomb Raider games are completely different to the old ones. There's nothing almost like different games. There's just nothing. I know the graphics are a lot different, but that's not what I mean. I just mean the general gameplay is a lot different to what it was. There's a lot of pre-scripted stuff in it now. There wasn't in the old ones, obviously, because they couldn't really do it that well back then. So they've put so many in the new ones. I think I actually stopped playing Tomb Raider, it was just called Tomb Raider, the new one, because I just didn't really enjoy it, because it was so pre-scripted and events just happened, and I missed the puzzles, the really good puzzles. I haven't even played the brand new one, Tomb Raider. What's it called? Tomb Raider, the winter one. I can't remember the name of it. I'm not very good today. Coming up, I'm going to be questioning myself because I don't have my guest, but I'm going to be speaking about what I prefer. Do I prefer old games? Do I prefer new games? I'm going to be speaking a bit about game dev, and I'm also going to be giving you the news, so don't go anywhere. That song has been stuck in my head so much lately. I've even got it on my Spotify playlist now, and I believe Anne-Marie, who sings in it, is actually going to is the opening act for Ed Sheeran in April, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to listen to that song live. I don't know how good that'll be. He'll be weird because Big Sean won't be there. I'm Clean Bandit. Anyway, that's completely off topic. We're going to go into the news now, because I missed my show last week. I didn't get to cover the news, so I'm going to be speaking about the news from last week and a bit from this week as well. So let's start off with Steam introducing a new service named Steam Audio, where there'll be 3D audio, mostly for VR, but can be used in actual games. It's being introduced for Unity and Unreal and such. The description of it was sounds interact with and bounce off the actual sounds interact with That's weird. That's a weird description. I copied and pasted this. Sounds interact with and bounce off the actual scene geometry, so they feel like they are actually in the scene and give players more information about the scene they're in. Muffles sound in real time based on the geometry of the scene. So, say if you were behind a wall and there was a enemy behind that wall, like in front of that wall, if that enemy was speaking, it would actually sound like they were muffled instead of being able to hear them really clearly. I think games have needed this for a long time. There's never been a massive sound overhaul of games. It's always graphics. I think Steam introducing this is a really, really good idea. I don't know how many developers will get on top of it because of the new thing they've just introduced. I don't know if this costs, but I think this could make VR games a lot better, like I spoke about earlier. They're just getting better and better, and I think games such as stealth games in VR that could work. I don't know if that could work, but because you have to teleport around in VR, don't you? So I don't know that, but to me that sounds really good. So hopefully that'll be really good. A lawsuit between Jim Sterling and Digital Homicide have been settled. Jim came out on top. Jim is a YouTuber who's been on YouTube for a long, long time. He does reviews on games, and the developer, the Digital Homicide, went after Jim for $10 million because he wrecked their name, and when all they were doing is releasing bad games. So what he was doing is giving their company a bad name, apparently, by basically reviewing their games like reviewers should, because he was saying they're really bad games and that they shouldn't be releasing these bad games. But it's been settled. He hasn't been sued for $10 million. That $10 million, that is a lot of money. EA have detailed the rest of Battlefield 1's DLC. There's going to be 16 maps, one with boats, one with snow. That's all really detailed. That's in total, not just in one DLC. That I believe there's 4 every DLC, so there'll be quite a few DLCs coming out. And then there's 20 weapons coming as well. So that'll be 5 every DLC or something, I think. No, I'll work that out wrong. Something like that. So that could be really fun. The maps in Battlefield at the moment are really good, but they do need more. I don't think there's enough. I think they get very stale very fast as well. Epic Games have announced a new game. However, Epic Games are the people that made Gears of War. They have announced a game called Battle Breakers. However, it's not the best game. It's not the what you'd expect. It is you can just tell by the name, to be honest. It's a mobile game. It's turn-based. It's got tactical role-playing involved in it, and it's for mobiles and PC with cross-platform play. Don't know how well that's going to work. There was no gameplay or anything on it. There was a really bad trailer for it that done really nothing to show off the game. But I imagine it's going to be like every other mobile game. I shouldn't assume, but it's called Battle Breakers. I imagine it just sounds like one of them games you just find on the App Store and it'd just be filled with microtransactions. So I don't know how well that's gonna turn out, but hopefully they don't mess it up and don't ruin their company, because they make really good. I've never really played Gears of War that much. I played it when I was younger. Yeah, I played Gears of War when I was younger. But it's not it wasn't my favourite game. Everyone loved it, but it wasn't something that stood out for me. Ubisoft are working with the Division devs, which I believe they released Wildlands last week, to make a new Avatar video game. There's no gameplay yet. The trailer was the first movie, which was really weird. And the first Avatar game wasn't it was really bad. Honestly, I didn't even like the movie that much. Everyone was hyped up for it, and I didn't get the hype around it. I didn't really like it as much as everyone else did. I don't know why. Maybe I need to rewatch it because I was quite young when I watched it. But yeah, there was no gameplay. It was just the trailer of the first movie, which is a really weird way to do it. And with that, they've also announced 4 more movies. God, including the next one. So, yay! Microsoft have announced an EA Access style Xbox Game Pass subscription. That was a jumble of words. Basically, it's where you pay a certain amount of money. In this case, $7.99 for more than 100 Xbox One games and 360 games. So you can get games such as Halo 5, Lego Batman, Mad Max, Payday 2, and more. They announced it last week, and they're bringing it out in spring. And he said in launch there. They're bringing it out in spring. It's very, I think it's very copied off EA, because they do their £3.99 EA Access, where you get early unlocks to games, and you can play a certain amount of time on certain games, or you just get full games. You can get Mass Effect and all them Shadow of Mordor sequel was leaked, and then it was really quickly announced as well. Shadow of Mordor was a game that I did play. I did enjoy it as well. It was quite a good game. But yeah, the sequel was leaked on Reddit, I believe, and then they really quickly covered it up by announcing it, which didn't really work. And Twitch have announced that they that people can now buy games from their website, and then, like, say if you're watching a stream on Twitch and a streamer is playing a certain game that you really want, people can now buy the game off Twitch. I imagine they'd get a Steam key, and 70% of that would go to the developer, 25% would go to Twitch, and then 5% would go to the creator. The 70% is the same as Steam, and the 5% going to the creator. No one really agrees with. I think a lot of people are saying that 5% is going to the creator is pointless. Personally, I don't think that. I think the 5% is a really cool idea because they're obviously promoting the game a lot. So I think the 5% is a really good idea. However, a lot of people think that the 5% is pointless and that they shouldn't get in. All of it should go to the developer, which I can agree with as well. I think all the money should go to the developer. I don't think Twitch should get 25% for just selling keys. I don't think that's fair. And in updated news, I have notes here somewhere. The Nintendo Switch was released last week on March 3rd, same day as Ed Sheeran's album release. That's the only reason I remember that. It came out to very mixed reviews. Breath of the Wild, the Legend of Zelda game, came out with it, and that also got mixed reviews. A lot of people saying Breath of the Wild is one of the best Zelda games yet. However, a lot of other people are saying that it's really not. And then the Nintendo Switch had a very, very shaky launch. It's not. Some consoles aren't starting up correctly, some are shutting down randomly, some screens are going mental, like the screens are going like off fuzzy and such. It's really weird. EGX tickets just went on sale, today in fact, at like 8 AM today. So if you want to buy them, you can go ahead you can buy all the tickets. Eurogamer in Birmingham? Yeah, Birmingham. I went there a few years ago and it wasn't great. I preferred Rezzed, which is really weird because I can't go to Rezzed this year, which is really sad. I was really looking forward to that. I cancelled it. I paid the money and then I had to cancel my ticket because I thought I was going on holiday, but it turns out I'm not even going on holiday. COD 4 DLC has been announced for a paid amount, just like normal DLC really, but fans are really mad about it because it's premium DLC where you have to actually pay for maps that we've already had in previous games. I think they're bringing out new maps as well that we've never had for COD 4, like remastered by the way, not like the old one. That'd be really weird. So I don't really know about that. I'm spending loads of time on remastered lately. I'm really enjoying it. So I like that Call of Duty is going back to the old roots. Well, apparently next year they're going back to the old roots. I don't believe they will, but we'll see. And then the PS4 boost mode that I talked about a few weeks ago is coming out. You know, it increases FPS if there isn't a patch for the game already. So games like Project Cars went up from like 24 FPS to like 50 FPS, which is a really good increase for what it is, because you need that FPS on that kind of game. So yeah, it's a really, really good thing, and I think it could turn out really well for developers because, well, actually no, it kind of makes developers a bit lazier than it should. But oh well. Coming up, I'm going to be speaking about game dev because I've done a college course in game dev and I want to speak a little bit about it and relate it to older games and newer games. So don't go anywhere. This is Love Me by the 1975. To the river. I don't know why I done that. Okay, so in the next part, we're going to be speaking more about old games, classics, and some old. I'll just give you a bit of nostalgia, basically, for the last part of the show. But in this part, we're going to be talking about game dev. Jay was meant to be here, and we were going to speak about that with him because he does a game design course now at uni. So I was going to get some opinions on that, but we'll try and get that for another time. So stay tuned to my Twitter at JoshRyanUK if you wanna stay involved with that, or you can go to clicktseaside.com and just stay updated on there. Okay, so do I prefer developing games or actually playing games? Well, for me, it's a bit easy for me because I don't actually develop games anymore. In college, I've done it for 2 years and I really enjoyed it, but a lot of game design is based around concept art and just art in general and drawing and stuff. And the 3D modeling was the best part for me, and actually developing the game, putting the things in the game. Not necessarily coding it, but like in Unreal, it's called like Unreal 4, the engine. It's called link. You like link things up instead of programming it. It's a lot easier than programming. Basically, programming is the right way to go, but if you don't know how to do that, then you can do that instead. So I think at the time, I think I preferred 3D modeling because I never really played any games, and 3D modeling is really fun. Apart from unwrapping, unwrapping is basically, you know, in a game you'd see textures on an object. Basically, you have to like you could get really complicated objects, or you can get a really like cube or something. And unwrapping it is basically like, you know how if you how do I explain this? If you unwrap a cube, it basically goes into like a rectangle shape at the top and then a square at the bottom. Like you unwrap it, it's literally unwrapping. If I'm trying to paint a picture, but I can't really explain. It's hard to explain. But basically, it could be really complicated because some objects had loads of sides to them, and it was really difficult to actually get around to like unwrapping them, because not the effort, but like how difficult it actually was just unbelievable. Like a lot of people find it really easy, and a lot of people find it like their favorite thing to do, which I just think is weird. Like I can't imagine doing that at all. So speaking of developing a game, playtesting, I'm not going to speak too much because I'm under an NDA, but I went to playtest at a company a few weeks ago, and I now see why people don't enjoy it as much as developing a game, because QA testing, I done it for 2 days. And it was fun. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. But I can't imagine doing it for like a career. It's the 2 days I was there. By the end of the day, you were really bored, and because if you're QA testing, you're going to play the game over and over again for months and months and months, trying to find bugs and trying to make sure the game actually works all the way through the game. So we just started from the beginning and played all the way through until the next day. We played co-op. We played single player one day and then co-op the next day. Tested both of them, and co-op was really fun, but I just can't imagine doing it as a career. It's really strange. But if you enjoy playtesting, or if you wanted to playtest, you can actually sign up online. I just search like game playtesting in whatever country you're in, and it might come up. I don't know. England, around here, there's Ubisoft in Newcastle. I believe there's a game studio in Middlesbrough. It's quite small. I believe they make mobile games, but it's a good starting place. It's always good to get your contacts and such. So if you want to do that, let me know and I'll try and get you in touch. If you just email the show studio at clickteeside.com, or ring us at 01642 73 8000. Indie versus AA. Triple A. There we go. Watching too much wrestling. Indie versus AAA games. Indie games, I think we spoke about this with Tom a few weeks ago, and I think indie games are a lot bigger than they used to be. Like you're getting indie games on platforms such as the PS4 now. PlayStation is like a huge indie thing. Obviously, the PC is the biggest, but PS4 are really introducing indie games now, and Xbox are following them. Not as well, but I think because Xbox brought their own early access thing out, I can't remember what it's called. It might just be called like Xbox Early or something. But it's like Subnautica, for example, is a game on Xbox and on Steam. And it's early access on both, but Xbox gets the updates really slowly, while PC gets them like instantly. It's I don't know how well it works, but I'm glad AAA consoles, actually bringing in indie gaming a bit more than they should. Not more than they should, more than they did, because it's a really nice thing to be seeing all these small indie companies getting bigger. I mean, with the introduction of the new Steam Greenlight thing. Steam, what was it called? Steam. Oh my god, what's the name of it? My mind's been blank. I can't think today. It's awful. Basically they I talked about it 2 weeks ago in the show. They have took out Steam Greenlight and they're making developers pay a certain amount of money to get their games onto Steam instead of people voting for them. So I don't know how well that's going to go, but with the introduction of that, indie games might get smaller on Steam. Who knows? Which would be a shame because they need that money. They're gonna. Because to get onto Steam, you now need loads of money. I don't know what the price is yet. They're introducing it in like summer, but I don't know how well it's gonna go. Coming up in the last part of the show, I'm just gonna be speaking about nostalgic games. Games that you'll think about and you'll be like, oh, I remember that. Don't go anywhere. This is the record of the week.
Click's Record of the Week.
I do know
What a song! Ooh. I loved the Coldplayers and Chainsmokers' performance at the Brits. It was so good. And Chris jumping into the crowd was like the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. It was so good. Maybe not ever, but you know. Okay, so I'm gonna tinkle. Tinkle? That's a weird word to describe it. Tinkle your nostalgia a bit here. I'm gonna list a few games that you might have heard of, might not have heard of, but that I played when I was younger. First of all, a really, really old one that was an arcade game and an Xbox original game. It was called Outrun, and it was a endless like racing game where you'd have to dodge stuff, and it was a really, for its time. I can't really say. I was going to say for its time it was really good, but it wasn't. It was a really good game. It was ported from arcade to Xbox, and I played so much of that game. Like I play it every single day. I need to go back to it just because of the nostalgia. Literally just for the nostalgia. I got an Xbox, a PlayStation 2 controller, port, like what's it called, the converter for USB, so I can use a PS2 controller with my PC. So that's kind of cool. Another one was Desert Bus. I never played that, but basically I don't think it's a very popular one, but Desert Bus was a game where you just drive down a straight road in a desert for 10 hours straight, and if you got to the end, you'd be congratulated. That was literally it. Like there was nothing to it really. There was, you're not allowed to hit the sides of the road, you have to go straight. The bus would veer off to the right, so you can't just leave it. It was a very, very strange game, and it was literally just a 10-hour game that you do nothing in. Which is just like, I don't understand. I believe Desert Bus 2 is coming out as well. Sonic, obviously, all the Sonic games. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog was a game I played so much when I was younger. I played it constantly. Like, oh my god, it was so good. I mean, going back to it, I'd probably hate it. I'd probably think it was really bad, but when I was younger, I didn't really know. I just enjoyed it. I just really, really enjoyed that game. It was really, really good. I remember it being really stressful though. And there was also Sonic Heroes. Oh my god, that was my favourite game ever. I didn't even write that down, I just remembered that. Oh, Sonic Heroes was so good. If you've never played Sonic Heroes, I highly recommend playing it. I mean, it might be bad going back to it, but I'd still recommend it. Obviously, it was Crash Bandicoot. We spoke about that earlier. Spyro was another game I played so much of. Ratchet and Clank. Oh my god, all these games they're just Final Fantasy X, never really played it. Well, just Final Fantasy in general, never really played it. I played 10 for the first time a few years ago. I didn't really like it, but I know a lot of people loved it. So they re-released it in HD as well. They're re-releasing all of them. Apparently the new Final Fantasy is really good as well, which is cool. Pokemon Ruby. Lafayette, Pokemon Ruby was like, oh, it was so good. I enjoyed it. I want them to bring out an old Pokemon game again. Like, I really need to play the new ones, but I never really got round to it because I don't have a DS anymore. But I really want to play the new Pokemons. Pokemon Go, you know, that hype died. I want to get back to the old Pokemons now. There was obviously Ruby and Sapphire, and then Red and Blue was a really classic one as well. This isn't really a really old one, but this is Mario Kart. Mario Kart was like adored. I know it's not that old. It probably came out around 10 years ago or something now. I don't know, I should have checked that. Like, I imagine it would be like a lot of games came out in 2009, so I imagine it was 2009 when it came out. Star Wars, the Battlefront 2. And Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2 though, I still play it now. It's an exceptional game. I played it with my friends when I was younger on local co-op. God, I remember them times. Not looking at my screen, a split screen. Remember that? Wow, they were the times. And then there's games like Unreal Tournament, which I never really, I played quite a bit of. I played it in school with Jay. my best friend in a actual tournament. Like, there was our IT teacher put on a tournament for Unreal Tournament, and I was so bad at it, and Jay was so good at it, and like I'd always let the team down because I keep dying. Oh god, it was incredible. But yeah, just so many like games that like just hit the nostalgic feel. It's really weird how it works, because you know, games like Shadow the Hedgehog and Spyro really made me like feel old there. Like, I'm not even know, I'm 18, and Pokemon Ruby, like that game, I played it way too much, I think. Like, I remember sitting on my doorstep and trading Pokemon with my friends. Remember them times when you had to do it over Bluetooth and stuff? God, oh, they were the times. That's basically the end of my show now. Next week I'm gonna try and get Jane, hopefully. Not going to promise anything, but hopefully I can get him in. Last week I missed out. This week I've missed out, so hopefully we can get him in for a show, because he was the first guest I had on when I was practicing in November. So I really want to bring him on again and talk about something. I'm thinking we're going to speak about VR next week or something. But that's all for my show. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week.